Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It's good old MF Michael Fletcher alongside my good buddy Anthony Florio, and we're just going to dive right on in. We're going to start out with AEW Dynamite, as we always do, and we started it off with Adam Hangman Page and Matt Hardy going up against the Hybrid 2, and when it was all said and done, Adam Hangman Page and Matt Hardy won the match in 7 minutes even. Solid opener. I mean, it was an okay match. I don't think it was really a major hit. It was, it was solid for what it was worth. And it was, to me, I want to say about 2.5 stars. It was short, which, does take a little bit of a hit, but not too much of a hit. Anthony Florio, quick thought.
Yeah, I'll tell you, MF, 2.5 stars for me. The match itself was fine for what it was, even if it was uncharacteristically one-dimensional, despite the talent involved. Hardy played the role of weak link who steals the win away to win anyway to perfection, while Page continued to portray the explosive babyface excellently. Now, as far as what's going to happen at the pay-per-view at Revolution, these two are going to have a match, and the winner is going to get the other's first quarter earnings of 2021. Okay. Think about that for a minute. 2.5 stars. Move on.
All right, Anthony, you're going to lead off on the next one, which was the, I guess you could say, a first-round match on the U.S. bracket of the AEW Women's Championship Eliminator Tournament. And this one was a good one. It was Serena Deeb, the reigning and defending NWA Women's World Champion, going up against the inaugural AEW Women's World Champion, Rio. And when it was all said and done, the cutie from Japan gets the win. 14 minutes and 50 seconds, Rio advances to the next round of the tournament. Anthony, we know the love affair that we have for both ladies. Excellent match. I'm so happy Rio won.
First match in almost a year.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen her. We don't know if it was injury. We don't know if it was...
Had to be COVID. Had to be COVID restrictions.
Very possible. Yes, absolutely. That's also a possibility.
I would not at all be surprised if that was the case. But, for a long, long time, we've been poo-pooing on the AEW women's division for having, ho-hum diva fights almost. And, well, what we saw tonight was not a ho-hum diva fight at all. This ranks up there as one of the greatest AEW women's matches that we've seen yet. This was 3 3/4 to 4 stars. You could easily call this fight of the night. But then again, you can make an argument for some others. But this was a pay-per-view quality match and a damn good one at that. The counter wrestling and drama late helped elevate it, particularly as the live crowd bought into every false finish. Throw in tenacity and physicality we had not yet seen out of Serena Deeb, and you have the ingredients of a match of the year candidate. Add 2 master chefs, and the finished result was simply phenomenal. Rio hardly missed a beat, returning to form and stealing the show, while Deeb continued to remind fans why she is one of the most underrated in-ring performers in the industry, regardless of gender. Hopefully her semi-push continues beyond this tournament, because she has been nothing short of superb since joining the AEW women's division. Tony Khan, listen to me. Sign Serena Deeb. Please. If you want us to take your women's division seriously, that's what you have to do. But then again, why don't you add that little cutie from Mexico as well? You know who I mean.
Thunder Rosa?
Yeah. So,
actually, here's a little bit of some foreshadowing, Anthony. Rio has advanced and now has to face Thunder Rosa in the next round.
You thought Rio and Deeb was amazing? Just wait till Rio and Rosa get it on. That could be even better. But this was so far the match of the tournament so far. No doubt about it. Well done, ladies. Well done. What else is there to say? 3 3/4 to 4 stars. you can make an argument, not just for Fight of the Night tonight, but you could also rank it up there as one of the greatest women's matches in AEW history. Amazing.
Will you call it Women's Fight of the Year? Is it that worthy?
It just might be. I mean, you definitely have to consider it.
Okay.
With the body of work those two put on, and the near falls and everything else. Oh my gosh, incredible! Just it is for now. It set the bar for now. That is until Rio and Rosa get it on. I got a feeling that could be even better.
Yeah,
but we'll see. 3 3/4 to 4, no doubt.
Serena Deeb looks amazing as always. Rio, like we said, we did not know what we were going to get from her because, like we said, it's been over a year. Last time she fought was literally March 20th, and she actually lost to Superbad Penelope Ford. It was on an AEW Dark show, and she lost to Penelope Ford. That was the last time she competed. And like we said, this was right before all the craziness began with the restrictions and the shutdown. Rio comes back, doesn't skip a beat, looks maybe even better than she ever has. And now all of a sudden, you know, I know she's probably not the favorite to win the tournament, but man, if this is what we're going to get from her, and like we said, next fight is going to be Thunder Rosa. That's got the makings of possibly a 5-star classic. It does. Thunder Rosa is without a doubt one of the best female wrestlers today. Rio is one of the most underrated in AEW. She is. A lot of people didn't think that she was worthy of being the AEW Women's Champion when she won the belt over Nyla Rose at first. A lot of people thought, no way, you're going to give the belt to Rio? That's, you know, are you, AEW, are you crazy? I think she's proven herself tonight that, hey, she was the inaugural champion, and now we know why they put her as the first ever champion. It makes sense now. She is a bona fide superstar. She's a megastar in Japan. And she's got such this girl next door, kid sister like type personality. And she's amazing. Her wrestling ability is the real deal. Her personality she's a total sweetheart in real life too. From what I know, from what I've heard, that Rio is without a doubt. She is not a diva. She is she is one of the nicest people you're ever going to get to meet in real life. So, you know, it's awesome. Great story. Next up we have is Orange Cassidy versus Luther. Orange Cassidy wins the match in a minute 50. That's a blow by. Nothing more to say on that. Then we had a whole bunch of other stuff, promos and whatnot. Then we was a AEW World Tag Team title fight, as it was Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz. When it was all said and done, winners of the bout in 13 minutes and 10 seconds, the Young Bucks, they successfully defend the titles. Solid match. I mean, it was good. I really think it was fine for what it was worth. I really got nothing more to say. This is 3.5 stars, and Anthony, I give it to you.
Yeah, let me see. This was the tag title match. Yeah. What was that time again?
13:10.
13:10. Okay. 3.5 stars. The streak of great matches continued with this, as Santana and Ortiz reminded fans of their excellence, and the Bucks crafted another extraordinarily dramatic match. The biggest takeaway from this one was MJF getting himself in the inner circle kicked out, so Santana and Ortiz could not benefit. it was the latest in the loudmouth egotist plan to systematically pick apart the faction from the inside. Also of note is that Jericho and MJF forced a submission out of the Bucks, perhaps hinting at Matt and Nick's future. We're probably going to get this at Revolution. The question is whether the Inner Circle can survive until then or not. But 3.5 stars, though, I agree. One of the fights of the night. So not much more to say. MF, let's move on.
All right. Next up, we had on the fight card. Well, it's gonna be. It was FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. They went up against the Seidel's, Mike Seidel and Matt Seidel. And when it was all said and done, FTR wins the match in 9 minutes. But, Anthony, there was actually one other thing that needed to be addressed. Before the match got going, it was Cody Rhodes, I guess, was near the ringside or near the commentary area. Congratulations to Cody and Brandy Rhodes, because we just found out they're going to have a baby girl. It's a girl. He's a girl dad.
Yes, so, he is.
Quick thought on that, and then give us your thoughts on the match.
Well, congratulations to Cody and Brandy. Girl dad indeed. There's nothing more special than the love of a father and a daughter, and that's going to be something. That's going to be something to see once it goes down. But as far as this match is concerned, 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. Mike Seidel was the least experienced wrestler in this match, and it showed. The effort was there, but there were more than a few disjointed spots and an injury scare at one point that Cody Rhodes referenced on commentary. Jurassic Express avenging the beatdown from a few weeks ago was necessary, while a match between them and FTR appears a certainty, perhaps as soon as or at Revolution. Given previous encounters, it has the potential to steal the show and enhance an already loaded tag team division. So congrats to Cody and Brandy, and 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star for the match. MF.
2.5 stars for me for the match. And yeah, like you said, congratulations, Cody and Brandy, on your expecting your baby girl. Brandy is gonna, oh my God. I can only imagine what Brandy must be thinking right about now. I mean, I know I can't say nothing about it. Anthony can't say nothing about it because we've never been fathers in our life. This is where I really wish we had Dee Dee here tonight. I know Dee Dee doesn't do Wednesday Night Mayhem, but I would literally love to pick her brain right about now about, because Dee Dee has daughters. And so I would love to pick her brain about what Brandy must be thinking right now, knowing that she's now going to have a baby girl. That's one question I would love to ask her more than anything else. So with that said, we're just going to move right on along to I guess this is the main event. Yeah, this is the main event of the evening. So it was Jon Moxley and Lance Archer. They went up against and Ray Phoenix. I'm sorry. They went up against Eddie Kingston, Butcher, and the Blade. Yes, along with the Bunny.
Hey now.
Yes, down boy. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 12 minutes even was Ray Phoenix, the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, and Jon Moxley. And then, well, you want to talk about a bomb?
Oh.
Boy, did we get hit with a nuke.
Oh.
Anthony, go. You can talk about it because you're clamoring for this. I know you want in on this. Go. It's all yours.
You better believe I want in on this. I'm just gonna set it up. I saw it. I flipped between both shows, as you know, and DVR'd AEW because I was more intrigued by the NXT because of all the ramifications from Vengeance Day, obviously the other night. But I DVR'd this and I skimmed through it, and then I caught this at the end. We're gonna get the rematch. It's gonna be Kenny Omega. It's gonna be Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship Revolution, Sunday night, March the 7th on pay-per-view, and the BR Live, which of course that's how I always do it. That's how I do it nowadays, and you better believe I'm gonna be doing that. I know $50. I know that's a lot. I know that's that's steep for a lot of people out there. I understand that, but in the immortal words of MF, BR Live, shut up and take my damn money because of what we're gonna get on this. This is worth the price of admission alone. I've never seen the match they're gonna do. MF, I'm sure you have because of your love for Japanese wrestling. Omega and Moxley for the belt at Revolution in what is being called an exploding barbed wire death match.
Oh.
What?
Okay. Allow me to explain.
You've seen one of these before, haven't you?
The ring ropes is going to be wrapped in barbed wire.
Oh my God.
The turnbuckles are going to be strapped with C4 explosives.
Oh.
The only way to win is by pinfall or submission. There are no disqualifications. There are no countouts.
Obviously.
Either you pin, you submit, or you get knocked out. Where basically you are incapacitated and is unable to get up. It is the most sadistic, barbaric. This is a match that none of us should ever see on TV, let alone be allowed to happen in the United States.
This is NC-17 stuff, isn't it?
This is... I will show you a match from Japan because this is where it comes from. This is like... It is certifiable lunacy. It's crazy. You thought ECW is bad? This takes it to an 11. It takes any hardcore fight you ever thought of, and they just raised it 1,000 times more. That's how crazy this fight's gonna be. You thought Barbed Wire Massacre was crazy? Between Abyss and Sabu? This will make it look like it was child's play, Florio.
Oh my God.
You thought the Barbed Wire Massacre you just saw recently between Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan was bad?
Oh my goodness.
That's nothing compared to what Omega and Moxley could pull.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shut up and take my money, indeed.
Yup.
Take $100 if you want.
Get it on BR Live, baby. That's how I do it.
That's all you need to say. That's all you need to know. If you thought... Okay, imagine the greatest hardcore fight of your life and take that and add it by 1,000. Like, that's exactly what you're going to get. This already... Like, Derek Ferrerich said it. This could be one of the craziest fights of all time. And I hope you... The thing is, and I really mean this, put the women and children to bed. And I mean it.
Immediately.
This match is not for the faint at heart.
Oh, no.
This match is, without a doubt, the most dangerous, sadistic, and barbaric matches that could ever happen. And for Moxley and Omega to say yes to this, you gotta have a little bit of a screws loose upside the head. So,
I'll say it like this.
Yo,
I'll say it like this. The greatest hardcore match I ever saw, without question, the Triple H and Cactus Jack street fight from the Royal Rumble 2000.
Oh,
we know that was a 5-star classic.
Oh, get ready. That's gonna make that look like it was nothing.
Make it look like a Flair Steamboat fight, right?
Huh?
Make it look like a Flair Steamboat classic, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. When you told me exploding barbed wire, I'm like, oh, no. I already know what they were about to do. I already know what is about to happen. And, yeah, I will show you a video very soon, Florio, if I can ever find one, of an exploding barbed wire match. I'm going to tell you, you thought how Pete Dunne with his little arm thingy and how you cringe all the time about that, you're going to cringe over some of the fights I've seen. Like, even I was like, oh my, like, I had to turn a couple of times because of how crazy these matches are. I'm telling you, it goes from 0 to 1,000 in like that.
I found one. Was it Terry Funk against Atsushi Onita?
That's one of them.
I just found it on YouTube. 29 and a half minutes.
Yeah. It's sadistic. It's sadistic. It is. You're asking for trouble, folks. That's all I'm saying. All right. As far as the fight goes, the main event, solid main event, good match. Nothing more to say. Obviously, the announcement stole the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Easy 3.5 star match. Nothing more to say. Overall review, I gotta give this about 8 out of 10. I mean, it was a good show. It was solid. There was really nothing bad. There was like maybe a couple of fights that weren't so great, but good pace, good everything that was going at it. But like we said, the main event spot basically stole the whole damn show and made this into an epic night. So, good job, AEW. Florio, it's yours. I'm going to get ready for NXT.
Yes. Well, first off, my thoughts on the main event. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. I mean, Moxley and Kingston keeping their rivalry alive while the commentary's team speculated that the former AEW champion wants to regain a friendship with him was excellent. Their encounters are so emotionally intense and deliver such a realism that it's impossible not to get sucked into what they're doing. The callbacks, including the Bulldog choke, were nice touches. Lance Archer was a total badass. Ray Phoenix, his high-flying self, and Butcher and Blade were very much the glue that helped hold this one together. The post-match beatdown and the announcement of the Revolution main event were fine. But, they were fine. Their first pay-per-view main event was obscenely violent. We all remember that. The infamous Lights Out match, Full Gear 2019, to the extent that it was comical. Omega breaking out that stipulation threatens to turn what should be an extraordinary match into a caricature. The performers and the fans are going to be in for something. Are going to be in for one wild ride. That's all I know, and I can't wait to see it myself. So, as far as overall goes, I'll tell you. I mean, it was. Not often we say this, but the women actually stole the show on this show tonight. Who would ever thought I'd say that? I mean, I never thought in a million years I would ever say that the best fight of an AEW show was a women's match. But yeah, I'm right there with you, MF. This was an 8 out of 10, no question about it. And I mean, a definite step up from last week in terms of quality. And I mean, what else is there to say? So, great match, great show, and I don't know what else there is to say. So, man, Revolution, March 7th, can't get here fast enough. I can't wait. That main event, oh my God. If you thought the lights out match was something, wait till you see this. 8 out of 10, NXT time, MF.
All right, and we started it off with, oh boy, did we start off. It was Kyle O'Reilly, and boy, he was pissed. Absolutely unloads on Adam Cole, and oh my goodness, Anthony, the implosion is begun, and Kyle O'Reilly, man, brother, you spoke from the heart tonight, man. That was power from Kyle O'Reilly, man. I've seen him pissed. I've seen one of those fiery, passionate promos that he's done from Ring of Honor. Dude, this was amazing what he did tonight.
Absolutely. Chaotic open to the night that suited the chaos at the end of TakeOver Vengeance Day. However, it didn't really lead to much of anything beyond setting up a match for later on, which was the main event of tonight's show. It kind of felt like a Monday Night Raw segment over an NXT segment. However, O'Reilly did a solid job selling his anger, even though he is not a great mic worker on his own. The ultimate goal should be Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. So this was a solid start. Finn Balor's involvement will add little early on, and the Prince should already have moved past the Bruiserweights. So a solid way to start the show. So let's get to some in-ring action, which started with a Dusty Classic return match from the semis.
Yes, it was. It was Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae representing The Way, going up against Shotzi Blackheart, and yes, that stupid Tank, and Ember Moon. And when it was all said and done, it was Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon winning the match in 13:02. Anthony, it's yours.
I don't understand why you don't. I mean, it's not that I'm not personally a big fan of the Tank either. I'm not an overall diehard of it, but I thought you would have liked the Tank at MF. I thought you would have loved that touch. I thought you would have, but I'm very surprised to hear that you're not a fan of it. I mean, coming from a guy who loves Zambonis, for goodness sakes.
The thing is it's a shtick. Because let's be realistic, guys, and I'm going to be real blunt with you. On NXT, I'm the heel commentator for the show. Anthony is more of the face or the in between, while Mike Bullock is the lead commentator for NXT. So I'm just playing off my character on the show.
Oh, okay.
So that's what it is.
All right, fair enough. While this was not as good as the match last week, it was still solid thanks to the time it was given. Candice LeRae remains the ring general in these bouts, but Ember Moon has also truly found her groove in the ring again. Shotzi Blackheart was less involved than usual, while Indy Hartwell showed her inexperience. The result was obvious, but it still worked. Dexter Lumis plays mind games constantly, taking Austin Theory out of the North American title match Sunday, and he clearly has more plans for the Way to come. For now, it makes sense for Theory to return to the Way. So for me, I would probably give this about 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Another solid effort from the women here. So not much more to say. MF, not as good as last week, but still good. 3.25, 3.5.
3.25, 3.5. I totally agree with that. I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Like we said, it should have been a lot more better than it was, but at the end it was kind of one of those things. So I don't, like we said, it was, we'll wait and see how it plays out, but there's really nothing more to add here. So we're just gonna move right on along. Next up we had was Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff wins the match in 5 minutes and 26 seconds. This is kind of what Anthony would like to say, quick little sprint. A nice quick little sprint, decent fight, 2.5 stars, nothing more to really say, but nice win for Leon Ruff. good win for him. He really needs this win. He kind of lost his way a little bit. No pun intended, but he has lost it. You know, after winning the North American title, he's lost a few fights here and there, but good win for him to get back on track, Anthony.
What was the time? What was that time of the fall again?
5:26.
5:26. All right. I'm going to give this 2.5 to 3 for the effort. Leon Ruff and Isaiah Swerve Scott have chemistry that should be immensely fun to watch. The first bout could have used more time, but the fun sprint absolutely worked. These are two of the fastest and smoothest cruiserweights in NXT, and the two complement each other well. Ruff can make Scott look far more dangerous as a heel than someone like Bronson Reed could. NXT intentionally gave Ruff a jobber entrance to solidify just how much he is the underdog. Meanwhile, Scott is able to do anything in the ring, but will work best with someone he can toss around. 2.5 to 3. MF, let's move on.
All right. Next up we had, well, my favorite tag team right now in NXT, Caden Carter, Casey Catanzaro. They went up against a person that Anthony really likes, Aew, and Jesse Camilla with Mr. Robert Stone in their corner. And yes, Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro wins the match in 2 minutes and 34 seconds. But after it was over, it looks like Casey and Caden, they kind of ran into Boa and Xia Li. Oh boy. It's about to go down, Florio, next week.
Yes, it is. I guess it's going to be Xia Li against Casey Catanzaro. And MF, I know how much you love her. I know this is your girl, and I know how much you've been a fan of this young lady ever since her days on American Ninja Warrior. Obviously, that's how she won your heart. But then again, she won the hearts of almost everybody with her run on that show. But Carter and Catanzaro, they're still green in ways that come up every now and then, and it was on full display, especially against the inexperienced Jesse Camilla. It was a showcase of women that need more time before they can seriously be in the spotlight. And this was just about setting up a bigger match down the road. Though it remains to be seen if Catanzaro versus Lee will be a serious match in the best women's division in wrestling. While Lee's evolution has been fun to watch, she still has not had a chance to show she can compete at the highest level. So the match was a dud, but Lee and Catanzaro, that could be something. That's something to watch for.
All right. Next up we had, right after that, then we had about a moment where, it was the winners of the women's Dusty Classic, as it was Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. But then, well, let's just say we had a big surprise. Nobody saw this coming. The reigning, defending WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of the world, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, yes, they are in the GWC tonight. And Florio, well, it looks like it might be sooner rather than later for Dakota and Raquel to get their title shot.
Well, guess what? As you know, in 2 weeks, on March 3rd, AEW is going to have a highly anticipated mixed tag team matchup with Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet squaring off against Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill. NXT needed something to counteract that. Well, they got not one, but 2 things that will counteract it. The tag team title matches that the winners received by winning the Dusty Classic, we're getting both of them in 2 weeks on that same night, March 3rd. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, and MSK will be challenging Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch for the NXT Tag Team Championship. So we're getting both of those in a couple weeks. I mean, but this was a fun segment. I got to be honest. And the interaction between Jackson Baszler and Kyan Gonzalez, oh man, that was fun. That was very fun. And Raquel Gonzalez, the latest to add to Nia Jax's "My Whole" moment. So yeah, she said a little something in Spanish beforehand, which I wasn't sure what she meant by it.
It meant the same thing.
Okay,
it almost meant the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she said she better watch out because she said she was gonna take one of the dusty boots off the trophy and stick it up her hole. That she won't be able to get it out or something like that. So,
Yep.
Another my hole moment for Nia Jax after what happened about 10 days ago or so on the Monday Night Raw against Lana in the table match. We didn't notice it at first, but then once social media blew up and all the dirt sheets blew up, we looked into it and oh my goodness. So, and to this day, it's still running wild. So,
it's gonna be a running joke for a little while. I'm sorry. It's gonna be like the Michael Jordan crying meme. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, the crying Michael Jordan. Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be running for a little while. The joke's gonna run a little while. Nia accidentally caused quite a stir on social media, and everybody's been running with it since.
Yeah. So I don't know what else there is to say, but a great segment though, nonetheless. I mean, 2 weeks we're gonna see both of those tag team title matches. So MF, I'm very curious. Do you see any of those tag titles switching hands, or do you think we're gonna have retentions on both?
Going into this, I kind of felt like I thought maybe the tag team titles that the WWE women's tag team titles would have been vulnerable, but now I don't think it's gonna. I think MSK's got a great shot at winning the NXT tag team titles, but as far as the WWE women's tag, I don't think it's gonna happen now. I don't think so. I think Raquel and Dakota will give it a great try, and they're gonna do really good. I just don't see them winning the belts, though. Honestly, I don't. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna say no to the women's title, a no to the women's tag. Maybe the NXT tag titles could switch, but we'll see. All right, so from there, like Anthony said, I thought it was a solid segment. I thought it was really good. So, we're just gonna, like I said, dive right on along here. And next up we had was Kushida going 1-on-1 with Tyler Rust. Kushida wins the match in 7 minutes and 57 seconds. Nice, good win. For both guys, they did pretty well. There's really nothing more to add. I'll give this about 3 stars. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, nice bounce back win for Kushida after that tough loss to Gargano the other night. Tyler Rust continues to stand out with strong competitions. This was a good showing from the NXT rookie who has plenty of experience outside of WWE to showcase with major opponents. Malcolm Bivens has done well for Rust so far, though the dynamic is still a bit off. Kushida is truly finding himself in NXT. He has always been great, but he's showing out lately. He has just found the right dynamic to work with a variety of NXT performers. He may have lost at TakeOver, but he has to be in line. He has to be in line for a title soon. That's all there is to it. So, solid 3. I agree with that. So, let's move on.
All right. Next up, we had was a 1-on-1 match. It was Zoe Stark going up against Valentina Forza
Faraz.
Faraz. Zoe Stark wins the match in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Anthony, if you want to talk about it, we can quick.
Well, for a short exhibition match, Stark showed out from the outset. It's a shame that WWE immediately gave her a loss in the Women's Dusty Classic. She comes off as a powerhouse that could dominate NXT in time. The early loss will need to be quietly written off. So this was another dud, so not much more to say. Move on.
Main event. Here we go. Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch against Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Finn Balor. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 11 minutes and 52 seconds, as it was Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch. Pete Dunne hits the bitter end on Finn Balor for the 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Anthony. Dunne just pinned the champion. You know what that means.
Championship committee moment.
Yep.
But there's another guest at the dinner table here.
There is.
But as far as the match is concerned, this was the fight of the night. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was always going to be a fun fight. Everyone involved was too talented not to compete at their absolute best. The continuation of Balor and Dunne was as fun as Sunday, and it was interesting to watch the dynamic of Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. The chaos at the end did take away from the action a bit. However, it was important that Adam Cole ultimately make a statement. He did so with his actions, clearly showing that he is no longer just acting with emotion. He has intentions to destroy the Undisputed Era to become NXT champion again. It'll be fascinating to watch what comes next. It could be good, it could be bad, but what matters for NXT immediately is that it will be different from the many years that have passed before with Undisputed Era on top. 3.5, 3 3/4, fight of the night, MF.
3.5 for me. Solid main event, good fight, good stuff. And one other thing that I gotta talk about that needs to be addressed: Pat McAfee cut it a promo, basically said, "I told you so. I told you Adam Cole was a scumbag," and the whole 9 yards, and is asking for an apology from the IWC. I don't know if you're going to get an apology from the IWC. I definitely know you ain't getting one from Michael Bullock anytime soon. Bullock's still harboring a little bit of some ill will towards McAfee after I guess he took a couple of swipes at his show. So, I mean, to each his own. But we'll wait and see how that plays out. But, yeah, this was a good main event. Good, solid show to close it. 7.5 to 8 for me for the overall review. I really got nothing more to add. Anthony, let's close it. It's yours.
Well, one match announced for next week: Karrion Kross against Santos Escobar.
Santos.
Yep. We're going to see that next week because it was supposed to be tonight, but Escobar weaseled his way out of it. He ducked it, and Regal says, that's not happening on my watch. Either you show up next week or you'll be indefinitely suspended and you will be stripped of the Cruiserweight Championship. So he's going to have to show up. So not much more to say on that. What can I say? NXT is consistently very good. This didn't have any standout matches, but everything was consistently good. The Undisputed Era angle is playing out nicely, and the stuff involving the Dusty winners made for a very good segment. So 7.5 out of 10. I think AEW was slightly better, although NXT was great. So not much more to say. MF, what's on the docket for Strictly Sports tomorrow night? We're
really gonna dive into the baseball. We got a lot of baseball articles. We got some NFL news. Obviously, we didn't get into the JJ Watt leaving Houston. There's some rumors about where he might be going. There's a lot of rumors about where he might be going. Then of course, we didn't really get into the Deshaun Watson demanding a trade. We know now Russell Wilson is not happy at all with his team. There's a rumor that he might want out of Seattle. So we got that going on. And then we got ourselves a blockbuster. Fernando Tatis Jr., the brother, got paid today.
Oh, yes.
We will get into that tomorrow. So
Trevor
we got...
Bauer.
Huh?
Trevor Bauer signing with the Dodgers.
Bauer with the Dodgers. So
the
we got...
Benintendi.
Yeah. So we had a whole bunch of stuff we had cooped up in the back lot that because of all of our prior commitments, we're going to bring a lot of that out to the forefront tomorrow night at 10:30 on Strictly Sports. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So, we're going to be doing some house cleaning of some sports stories that we were supposed to cover that we never got a chance to.
What's the order? How are we going to do it?
Probably do the NFL first and then do baseball after. Because of the fact that, remember, spring training actually starts in a couple of days. As a matter of fact, pitchers and catchers are reporting either tomorrow or Friday.
Oh my!
They're supposed to be reporting.
Okay.
So yeah, it's about to start, guys. We're gonna have some baseball stuff to talk about very soon. So we got really nothing more to add. Thank you, Anthony Foyo, as always. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. So until then, have a good night, everybody. So long for now. See you tomorrow.
Goodbye.